Today we're going to continue the ongoing Sonic Marathon, so I decided to wear a Mario shirt. But despite that, Sonic Generations is one of the most requested games I've ever seen in my comic section, and considering I enjoyed Sonic Forces, I'm excited for Sonic Generations. I've gotten tons of comments telling me the only reason I enjoyed Sonic Forces was because I haven't played any good 3D Sonic games, and just after a few seconds of playing Sonic Generations, I already agree. Every gameplay aspect of Sonic Forces is done significantly better in Sonic Generations despite it being much older. The momentum of course feels amazing with both the 2D and 3D Sonic levels, along with it feeling like you have much more control over your jump than possibly even Sonic Mania. Also, the auto lock-on mechanics from the 3D levels are somehow much more polished as well as being more challenging, which is just how it should be. And best of all, you can now spin dash with the X button, which is an amazing addition that I wish Sonic Mania had, though if I am being honest, I might not have even tried it. Luckily, I tried it in this game because one of these little dudes told me that it was possible. Unlike a lot of other games like with Roll for Mega Man Anniversary Collection for example, the tips are actually very necessary and unintrusive. Instead of the game pausing as it tells me A is jump, this dude follows Sonic and tells him the necessary things that he needs to learn to pass the level. And if there's a new type of obstacle in a level, you can even watch a tutorial video before starting if you really want to, but it is kind of unnecessary because it usually just tells you to press some kind of button. I think some necessary context going into this game is that it was made for Sonic's 20th anniversary, which leaves me hope that Sega does something similar this year for Sonic's 30th anniversary. But aside from talking about my hopes and dreams, the reason that's important to know is because the entire game seems to be an homage to the franchise's history as a whole, and not just the good parts that get recycled and remixed time after time. There's 9 zones in this game with a boss battle after every 3 zones, but I'll talk about that more later. The game actually starts you in the middle of a 2D Sonic level just how the original Genesis games would, which I really enjoy. The story still ends up showing up just after the first level, and basically what's happening is it's Sonic's birthday, given that it's the franchise's 20th anniversary once again, and he's gifted a chili dog by Tails, which is hilarious and a perfect gift for Sonic. Eventually, the bad guy does end up showing up and captures all of Sonic's friends, then proceeds to trap them throughout time and space. You know, normal video game stuff. Canonically, as the game goes on, Sonic literally mends the space-time continuum just by beating levels, which I find both appropriate and hilarious at the same time. But enough talking about the side dishes of Sonic Generations, it's time to get into the meat and potatoes. Like I said earlier, there are 9 zones in total, each having only 2 acts, one as Classic Sonic and one as Modern Sonic. Of course, that means the really good zones are going to leave you wanting more, but luckily there are a lot of extra content things on top of the fact that the levels seem to be a lot longer than normal, at least longer than both Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania's levels. Each of the levels are amazing though, and there weren't any levels that I considered to be straight up bad. My only complaint with the gameplay actually is that there are a lot of cheap jumps in the 3D Sonic levels, but it really isn't too bad. Also, there was this game-breaking glitch that soft-locked my game, so that's cool. But that aside, this game is one of the best platforming games I've ever played. I prefer the 2D Sonic levels just because I'm a big 2D platformer fan, and this is the exact kind of thing that not only every Sonic fan wants to see, but also every platforming fan wants to see. The 2.5D aspects in the 2D Sonic levels are absurdly creative and spectacular to witness as you're traveling the speed of sound. Sonic Generations actually utilizes the fact that it's a new game to incorporate things into the actual gameplay that couldn't be done before, instead of just improving the graphics, which is something that I think all platforming games should strive to do, especially considering they're becoming more and more seldom on newer consoles, with the exception of remakes. The level design is also top-notch and seems to be based around letting Sonic go full speed, but without making it too easy. There are some boring parts where you have to wait for moving platforms or something, which in my opinion isn't ever fun in Sonic games, but with platforming level design, it's kinda hard to avoid moving platformers or anything that makes you slow down. The 3D Sonic levels are still incredibly fun though and have a ton of crazy spectacles happening throughout them. Not only are the boost mechanics basically perfected, but moving Sonic around when he's going full speed actually feels like you're moving something going incredibly fast, which is important for a Sonic game. The graphics also show out in the 3D stages more than the 2D ones, though of course the 2D ones still look beautiful. My favorite portion of playing the 3D stages were the ones in the city where Sonic gets to run up and down the giant skyscrapers, because for some reason that suits Sonic perfectly, but maybe that's just because I watched Sonic X growing up. Also, I do want to say that once again, Sonic does indeed need to Naruto run to achieve his maximum speed, so just keep that in mind. The hub world is also one of my favorite parts. It starts off white and untextured, but as you complete the acts, the colors return more and more until the level is completely restored. Green Hill Zone's looking a lot more like White Hill Zone right now. Also, once you complete both acts of a zone, you save one of the characters trapped within space and time, which is a nice added incentive. After completing 3 zones, a boss gate appears that you need 3 keys to get into. You get these 3 keys by completing at least one challenge in each zone, but of course, the challenges don't show up until you beat all 3 zones. These challenges are actually extremely fun and can range anywhere from dodging extra obstacles in a remixed stage to racing some character or doing a time trial. Though my favorite one was where you had to keep the exit sign up throughout the entire stage without dropping it to complete it, which all my years of classic Sonic gaming trained me for perfectly. Once the challenges appear, there's also one dude holding a Chaos Emerald per 3 zones, being Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. Each of these are boss fights that are surprisingly fun, and while technically optional, getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds lets you face the real final boss of the game. Though come to think of it, with all the challenges sprinkled across the hub world next to the levels, it almost kinda looks like Kirby's Adventure on the NES. And the extra lives in this game kinda sound more like the Kirby ones than the Sonic ones for some reason. And even the intro and boss concepts seem to be really similar to Kirby. But luckily everything similar to Kirby happens to be really cool and well implemented into the game. Though my favorite part of the entire hub world is the fact that the music has seamless transitions as you run between the zones. I'm keeping this video short just because I don't want to say a bunch of things that have already been said about Sonic Generations, but let's take a look at each and every individual level just so you guys can get a good understanding of how good this game looks and plays. The first level is of course Green Hill Zone, as every Sonic game seems to start with. And while the 2D Sonic level is fun and simple, the 3D one actually goes crazy and should be used as an initiation example for all Sonic developers in the future so they can understand the basics. After the Green Hill Zone is the iconic Chemical Plant Zone that I actually prefer to the original Sonic 2's because the drowning is much less scary for some reason. The level of course looks amazing in both acts, though I found it more amusing playing in the 3D Sonic act, not only because it's seamlessly and oftenly transitioned to 2D platforming, but also because I've played this level a lot in 2D, so it's cool to see in 3D for once. The last zone of the first trio is the last classic Sonic callback with Sky Sanctuary. Of course, the stage design is top notch and the stage looks amazing if you couldn't already tell. With the first 3 zones being the original Sonic the Hedgehog callbacks, the next 3 zones were callbacks to the Dreamcast days with Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 levels along with the Sonic Heroes level. Speed Highway is one of my favorite levels as 3D Sonic because, like I said earlier, you run on skyscrapers, but this is also another one of the levels where you're supposed to be going breakneck speeds the entire time, which is where Sonic always performs best. Each act also has so many unique areas and twists and turns that every level feels like a grand adventure, and it's a nice surprise to have a modern day platformer like this. City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2 is actually kinda weird as the giant Mack truck chases you in both 2D and 3D levels, but who the heck is driving that dang thing? They need to get off the road. Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes is also amazing with a lot of spectacular things going on in the level, as well as somehow having a fun water section. Also, shoutouts to that dolphin for helping me out right there, I will not forget it. The next trio of zones is what I like to refer to as the controversial era of Sonic levels, from Sonic 06, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Colors. The level from Sonic 06 was surprisingly really hard, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. But I guess it is perfect that my least favorite stage was the one from Sonic 06. Rooftop Run from Sonic Unleashed was also really fun, but at this point in the game, I feel like having 5 city levels in a row is a little bit of overkill, but this is just a nitpick. So if I see any comments talking about this specific sentence, I'll personally go to your house and pour some syrup on the carpet floor, so it's absolutely impossible to clean up, and it'll be sticky for the rest of your life. The Sonic Colors level, Planet's Wisp, incorporated the dudes from Sonic Colors into the level really well, though I do gotta say I prefer the 3D act to the 2D one, especially in terms of the new abilities. Once all the levels are complete, you go against the giant Eggman robot boss, who's pretty tricky but shouldn't take you too long to beat. He throws a lot of different attacks at you, but they're all easy to dodge. The only thing you gotta worry about is going insane from him repeating the same 3 sentences over and over and over. Also, once you knock him into the falling tunnel area, it is kinda hard to control Sonic, but as long as you make sure you have some rings, you'll be able to get through it just fine. But of course, this isn't the real final boss, this is just the fake one. The real final boss is actually only available when you have all 7 Chaos Emeralds and put them into the gears at the end of the hub world, kinda like the statues from Super Metroid. The real final boss fight is against the Time Eater, where 2 Dr. Eggman team up with the Time Eater on their side against 2 Super Sonics. And I don't know about you guys, but even if it was 1 Super Sonic, he'd still have my bet. The boss battle isn't that bad, but at first it's kinda hard to figure out what to do, I suppose. And again, you really just gotta worry about your sanity with all the line repetition. Eventually you defeat the boss and the space-time continuum is restored, so the original Sonic can go home to where he belongs. This game is of course amazing and one of the most fun platformer games I've ever played in general, though I still think it's really funny that when the game came out in 2011, I didn't play it, but I did see a 10-hour video of Shadow's new voice actor in this game saying, "You've got this, Sonic." And the top comment was, "I finally finished this masterpiece," which I thought was funny because it was 2011. Sonic Generations is easily one of the best Sonic games ever, though I won't say the best because I haven't played every single Sonic game, nor have I even played Mania enough to make a solid decision on that, but despite that, I think it's very clear that Sonic Generations is a masterpiece. And, oh, the Casino Night DLC is good too.